You will all be hearing from Special Agent in Charge, Timothy Gallagher, as well as Acting U.S. Attorney Bill Fitzpatrick. Additionally, we will be taking questions, and thank you very much. The press conference will begin shortly.
Good morning. I'm Tim Gallagher. I'm the Special Agent in Charge of the FBI's Newark Field Office. I'd like to introduce my partners in this investigation here. To my left, I have Acting United States Attorney William Fitzpatrick, Special Agent Daniel Brenner. To my right here, I have ICE Enforcement and Removal Office under the direction of John Sakaris, and Captain Kevin O'Brien of the Plainfield, New Jersey Police Department. Thank you for joining us today as we share the news of the latest addition to the FBI's list of the 10 most wanted fugitives. Fugitive Walter Yovany Gomez marks the 513th addition to the FBI's 10 most wanted list. He should be considered armed and dangerous. Walter Yovany Gomez is being sought for his alleged involvement in the murder of a young man from Plainfield, New Jersey in May 2011. According to investigators, Walter Yovany Gomez, in his early 20s at the time of the 2011 murder in Plainfield, New Jersey, was attempting to become a full member of the street gang MS-13 by carrying out a gang-ordered killing. The target was Gomez's friend. The victim had allegedly shown disrespect to the gang and to MS-13. This was the overriding concern, and they ordered Yovany Gomez to do the hit. As part of the Plainfield Locos Salvatrucha, or better known as the PLS crew, Gomez was assigned to the hit when his bosses heard that one of their associates had been seen socializing at a bar with members of the rival 18th Street gang. Ordering a murder for such a sign of disrespect is not uncommon for MS-13, a gang known for its extreme violence. To become a full-fledged member of MS-13, you have to kill someone on behalf of your local clique or crew. Only then can you become an MS-13 member and have those letters tattooed on your body. On May 7th, 2011, Gomez, known to his friends as Cholo, invited himself and a co-conspirator to the victim's house for a night of socializing. They were all friends, and the victim had no reason to believe that he was going to be murdered. The victim, Julio Matute, spent the night socializing with people he thought were his friends. Awoke early the next morning and dressed to go to work. At this point, Gomez allegedly swung a baseball bat and striking Matute in the head, and when he hit the floor, he sliced his throat and then stabbed him repeatedly with a screwdriver with the assistance of his co-conspirator. The victim was stabbed so many times that responding police officers who found the body 1 week later first surmised that he had been shot with a shotgun. Gomez's fellow attacker was arrested and charged with the homicide. When police went to Gomez's residence to effect the arrest, he fled out the back window. Later investigation revealed that he was driven to Maryland by fellow members of the MS-13 gang. On September 19th, 2013, a federal arrest warrant was issued in the District of New Jersey, charging Gomez with murder in the aid of racketeering, which carries a mandatory life sentence. He is also charged with conspiracy to commit murder, which carries a sentence of up to 10 years in prison. In June of 2016, 8 members of the PLS crew were found guilty of various racketeering crimes, to include Gomez's co-conspirator, who was sentenced to life in prison for his role in the murder of Julio Matute. A Honduran citizen who came to this country illegally, Gomez is not believed to have left this country. He has ties to Maryland and Northern Virginia, where there is a large presence of MS-13 members. Gomez is known to have used a variety of aliases, and I would like to refer you all to the wanted poster and press releases that have all of these aliases, as well as additional identifiers for Gomez. Since the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list was established in March of 1950, 481 fugitives have been apprehended or located, 160 of them as a result of citizen cooperation. On a local note, the Newark Division has placed 10 fugitives on the top 10 list. Prior to Gomez, 8 out of the 9 fugitives from Newark have been arrested and brought to justice for their crimes. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to the arrest of Walter Yovany Gomez. I do want to warn anyone who may know where the suspect is located to avoid any interaction with him, but instead to immediately contact the nearest office of the FBI, local law enforcement, or if you're abroad, the U.S. Embassy for anyone who's located outside of the U.S. All information can remain anonymous. Confidentiality is guaranteed. In the vast majority of fugitive cases, the FBI is looking for a tip. We're looking for a location. We're not seeking testimony. The publicity which the top 10 list affords investigators cannot be overstated, as its continued success has shown. We no longer publicize the notorious 10 in post offices, but via media, billboards, and social networking platforms, some of which you carry around right on your cell phone. Coupled with the expertise of our agents and our federal and state partners, we are confident the large reward offer will generate publicity and tips leading to the capture of Gomez. I'd now like to ask Acting United States Attorney Bill Fitzpatrick to come to the podium and make remarks.
Thank you. Good morning. I first would like to thank Special Agent in Charge Gallagher for his outstanding leadership and partnership, not just in this investigation, in this prosecution, but in all the different areas in which the FBI partners closely with the Department of Justice, with the United States Attorney's Office, to serve the people of New Jersey as well as we possibly can. Investigations and prosecutions like this don't happen unless there is a strong and effective partnership between federal, state, and local law enforcement entities. That partnership is affected and fostered under the leadership of the FBI, the Union County Prosecutor's Office, and in this case, the Plainfield Police Department. And I would like to thank Special Agent in Charge Gallagher for everything he does to bring about that partnership, and again, in order to serve the people of New Jersey as well and as effectively as we possibly can. MS-13 is without a doubt one of the most vicious and violent criminal street gangs in the United States. Their trademark brutality is carried out up close, in person, with guns, with knives, with machetes. They kill rival gang members. They kill innocent civilians. Their brutality will not end until they are stopped. And that is exactly what happened with the Plainfield clique, based on the leadership and of the FBI with their state and local partners, particularly in the Union County Prosecutor's Office and the Plainfield Police Department. If they were not stopped, our brothers and sisters out on the street would still be in danger, would still be dying, and would still be threatened every day by this violent street gang. The results of the investigation speak for themselves. There were 14 people who were indicted. 13 of them were arrested and convicted. 5 of them received life sentences, clearly a sign of the threat that the courts felt they posed to our community. But the job is not done. Walter Yovany Gomez is still on the loose. As the SAC chronicled, he committed a heinous, brutal murder. And just like his colleagues, just like the other gang members, he will continue to pose a threat until he is arrested and convicted. We are confident that his presence on the FBI's 10 most wanted list, the financial incentive that's out there that goes with it, the national reach that the 10 most wanted has, will result in Mr. Yovany Gomez being caught, in this case being closed. I would also like to point out the fact that Mr. Yovany Gomez is on the 10 most wanted list is just another sign of the FBI's and the Department of Justice's daily commitment to attacking violent crime, violent street gangs, and ensuring the safety of our communities as best we can. Thank you, SAC Gallagher.
Thank you. I'll now take your questions.
I suspect there's a lot of competition to get to the top 10 and a lot of murders. What is it about his case that you feel it's appropriate, that's elevated to
The top 10 list, as you know, has been operated since 1950, and it's controlled by FBI headquarters. So we submit our fugitives to FBI headquarters, and as you said, they compete against each other. There's two primary factors that we're looking at here. Violence. Is this individual a menace to society? And clearly this individual, Yovany Gomez, is. Criminal history. The threat, as I said, the continued threat they propose to society. And then, on top of that, what is the likelihood that this publicity, which we're going to put on this, is going to result in their capture? This individual is catchable. We have information that he's probably still in the country, and the resources that we would put forward will generate tips, which will hopefully result in his capture. So those are the two factors that go into it.
How common for a gang member to make the top 10 list in what? I mean, the killing of his friend, I assume the friend had some affiliation with gangs. You say he disrespected this other gang in town?
Well,
or MS-13?
We don't choose who, we don't choose who goes where on lists based upon who the victim is. This is a homicide. This is someone who is brutally killed and someone who's expressed a willingness to commit a heinous crime like that. So that's the primary factor there. Otherwise, as far as gang members being placed on the list, you've seen the evolution, of the list when it first started, where we would have bank robbers and car thieves and that sort of thing, all the way up to terrorists, cyber criminals now, and gang members. Gang members, this is a transnational organization. This isn't a gang that just exists in the streets of Plainfield, New Jersey. This gang has international reach, and it's an international crime syndicate. So although we refer to them as a street gang, it's a transnational organized crime group, and warrants being on the top 10.
What areas are they mostly in? Can you just tell us a little bit more?
The MS emanated from El Salvador. They have pockets throughout the East Coast that, right here in New Jersey, Long Island, Northern Virginia are hotbeds of where the MS-13 is. They're extremely well organized, and as I said, they have international reach. Unlike a lot of street gangs, what is peculiar to this group here or other organized crime groups, these individuals work. They tend to go to work every day. And in my experience in 20 plus years in law enforcement, that's something that is peculiar to this organization. The reason I bring that up is this individual's out there working every day probably. He's probably drywalling or working with a construction crew. So he's out there in the community. These people aren't ghosts. They go to work every day. And so that's why we put the publicity out there. If you see this individual, pick up the phone and call us.
Why do you think that is?
I'm sorry, yeah.
Can you talk about why this is happening out so later? And can you also clarify, you talked about 14 people being indicted, and you also talked about 6 members of MS-13 also being, arrested and indicted. Can you clarify how that's connected? Are there 14 people involved in this murder?
Well, there's 14 people who are in the overall federal indictment, which targeted the organization, Operation Mousetrap, and that had 14 defendants at first, and then we had there's one remaining out there. The 13 cases have been resolved with. He's the last one remaining. I'm sorry. What was the first part of the question?
You also talked about the 8 members back in June 2016. Were they part of that operation Mousetrap? Were they part of this?
The 8 members. Oh, I'm sorry. 8 were found guilty at trial. Exactly. As part of this overall conspiracy, 8 were found guilty at trial, 5 pled guilty, and 1 is remaining. Got it. Okay.
That included this murder? I mean, was this murder?
It was an overall racketeering conspiracy that included several overt acts, one of which was this homicide.
So only one.
He's the only one out there.
And just about the other part was why 6 years later, why is it now?
We've been looking for him for 6 years. The FBI, our partners in DHS, our partners at Plainfield PD. We've been out there looking for him. However, this reached a point now where we think that putting the whole weight behind the FBI's 10 most wanted list, the opportunities to get on the 10 most wanted list don't come up every day. The last time the FBI Newark office had an opportunity to put someone in the top 10 was 1989. So this has been, it's been 17, coming up on 18 years since we have the opportunity to do that. There's tremendous amount of publicity, tremendous amount of resources globally. And when we saw the opportunity for this, we pitched it. We said, this individual is catchable, he's violent, he meets your criteria, and the folks at FBI headquarters agreed with us. Thanks, yeah.
And just to follow up, talk about the fact a lot of these gang members work. Why do you think it is that they work? And unrelated questions, why do you believe he's still in the country?
Well, he was last seen in Maryland when he was dropped off. When he was dropped off down there, we've cast the net. We've cast the net, nationwide, even worldwide, and we've only received 2 tips, which later turned out to be unsubstantiated, that he was outside of the continental United States. So, based upon the sheer volume of tips, and none of which came from, a very small amount which came from outside the country, we're going to go with the fact that he may be, that he's probably still in the country, and there's a chance that he may come back into the New Jersey area from time to time.
Why is it that this particular gang has members that work as opposed to other gangs?
That's their money-making activity. They're not out there in general. They're not out there selling drugs. They're not out there selling guns like other street gangs might be. They're working to make money, but they are violent. They are brutal in their control of territory, and that is obviously where the criminal activity comes in.
So is it more like a violent fraternity? I'm just trying to figure it out. If they're not out there selling drugs or guns, but they're working, what's the purpose?
By and large, they're not. By and large, they're not. That's not their primary source of generating revenue. But it's what's their primary motivation as far as why they're a gang? That goes back to their roots in South America. I'm sorry, in Central America. Sorry. Yeah.
Do you have an age on the victim?
He was in his 20s. Well, yeah.
Can I ask Captain O'Brien a question? Is that possible? Captain, since this takedown that the U.S. Attorney mentioned in Plainfield, can you tell if the gang has disappeared from the streets of Plainfield? Are there remnants of it still operating? How would you typify what's going on in Plainfield right now?
Since the job was executed and indictments and the convictions, you could see a reduction in crime by the members of MS-13. Are they gone? I wouldn't say they're gone. Do they mask well within the environment? Absolutely. Like the Special Agent in Charge said, they do work, they host jobs, they live somewhat normal lives. They do have a criminal element to them. They do sell drugs here and there, traffic guns. It's just, and it's an anomaly. They do exist well within society, but they are extremely violent.
But you have seen a reduction in
Absolutely.
crime related to this organization?
Yes, sir.
Any further questions? Okay, thank you for your time today, folks. Okay.